make sure my headphones are charging right now, so y'all gotta give me a minute. Got a nice little fancy light now, so everything is bright, clear. Y'all can see me. Hope everybody's doing good. Everybody is let me speak up a little bit. I am so used. This is the first time that I've done a live inside in a very long time. I'm talking about a real full-fledged live. So ooh, I want to thank everybody that's sent their well wishes, everybody that's wishing me luck, everybody that's like been there since the beginning. I want to thank all of y'all. Um, and I also want to address something else before I get into this whole Pandora paper things and everything. I put up a video, and the video was just giving like a little quick tour or whatever of the crib. And y'all don't see it, but a lot of other people had the tendency, and I want to keep this light, to write discouraging comments. I had a few people try to make fun of me. I have a few people trying to say a couple of things or whatever. And I say to all y'all, middle finger to your whole family, to be quite honest with you. My mentality is beyond that. I don't do the giggles and and it sounds like really childish. Like, I so often sit back and I say to people, how come you're not going and attacking, like, these right wingers and people like that, or whatever the case is, and you never get an answer. I do that. I do that a lot. Um, go over the far right wingers pages and everything else, or whatever. So, I just wanted to throw that into emphasis and say, feel how you feel, but don't leave no dirty comments or whatever. Or I had somebody else write, I think it was Mike Pro Beats or something. I know you was joking, but don't leave comments like, "Oh, you got $455 boots." My nigga, I had them boots, what, 2.5, almost 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And I got them on a discount. You know what I'm saying? So when I say it's $450 boots, yeah, they $450 boots, but I ain't paid $450 for them. I paid $125 for them, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it was when what the hell is the name of that place? They went out of business, and I'm trying to think of the name of them, but they went out of business over by the Manhattan Mall, and they went out of business. And they had a huge sale. They was getting rid of everything, and I ran into these $450 leather polo boots, and I got me a pair of them. Yes, I did, and I had an additional coupon that gave me another 70% off what was already 125. So you do the math. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at finding a deal. Um, then somebody wrote in the comments talking about me having a new phone. My phone is not available right now anywhere. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe me, go to Samsung's website right now. Put in Samsung S21 Ultra. So I'm waiting. I went to the AT&T store, whatever, try to wait for that, and they still ain't got it. They got the S21, which I might end up taking if they can get 512 gigabytes in. See, these models of Samsung, they're not like the other ones. The other ones, they're more similar to iOS and Apple, where you have a set gigabyte and then you don't have any expansion. I mean, you can put an SD card in it. You get 512 gigabytes, that's what you stuck with. You get 128 gigabytes, that's what you stuck with. You use the cloud, but you have to pay for it. So anybody and everybody, I am now moved in or whatever. I heard a lot of people talking in the comment section for months now. Yo, when you move in, we gotta hit you up. Well, here's your chance. Here's your chance. $ STRINGERBELL 80. I need everything. Sofa, TV, camera. TMH helped me pay for this again. TMH is like, that's why I always go. Y'all can't see this light right now, but I have this room light. I'm pretty sure y'all seen them. I got me one of them. And I can even just look at the camera and tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? And the unique thing about mine is portable, which is like just the world, because I can plug this into a USB and I can move around. The other ones, they just plug into the wall. You need you know what I'm saying, an outlet to actually use it. This one, I can just use a USB port or any type of power set, and this light works. So that is dope. Plus, it does multiple colors and flashes. And this is definitely one of the top tier ones out of all the other ones. Because the other ones just do white. This one will brighten up and everything else. So I'm happy for that. So thank you, TMH Global. Somebody else sent me $8. I don't know who it was, but thank you for that. Um, Tim, who else? Dawn, thank you. Dawn sent me like $20. But yo, this, if y'all can, $STRINGERBELLAD. The link is in the description box or whatever. Now I'm gonna move on, and to everybody that left nasty comments or whatever, F you and everybody in your family. Like simple as that. Moving on. Topic of discussion. The Pandora papers. I see a lot of your everyday bloggers online right now. I'm talking about, oh, hey, the Pandora papers. This is the key to the Illuminati and all this shit. They always looking for the Illuminati. What you gonna do if you find them? What you gonna do? What are you gonna actually do if you find them? You gonna expose them? How you think that's gonna work out for you if it existed? How you think that's gonna work out for you? But that's another conversation. The Pandora papers consist of the journalistic efforts of a Washington, D.C. journalistic firm. And what they do is they go in, they find leaks, they find inconsistencies, things like that people will bring forward to, and they try to prove that they're true or false, and they do in-depth investigations within teams, not just one or two people on it, teams. And they do a lot of close work with the U.S. government, hence they're in Washington, D.C. And they go out of their way to expose people. And that's what happened here. They had over, I believe it was 201 individuals of concentration that they have. This includes U.S. dignitaries, UN dignitaries. This includes the presidents of foreign countries, including, I think out of all the places I saw, it was something around about 30 plus black people from different countries, Africa, Latinos are involved in this, from many different Latin American countries. And it seems to be these are all the people that are what you would call the elite of those countries. These are families of dignitaries, families of presidents, families of the royal families involved, and many others. And so a lot of people will say, well, this is the Illuminati. This is not the Illuminati. This is a group of rich people trying to hide their money. What's interesting that sits more so than anything is the simple fact that out of these 201 people, 81 of them had shell companies, and that's the thing of interest here. And I'm going to explain this to you the best way I can. Shell companies are basically when you develop a company. The company doesn't have to actually exist. The company is just, how can you say, euphorically exists, okay, as an entity. It's kind of like my LLC with my shipping container business. It exists. You get it? Well, with these shell companies, what happens is you can funnel money in over and over and over and over, and it can look like it goes to a project or whatever the case may be, but the company never has any employees. The company really never has a head or a CFO or a CEO. It's a shell company. It exists, but it don't exist. Based off this, these companies were created in multitudes by many different dignitaries and everybody else or whatever. These companies were erected. And once they were erected, what happened is, you get people from this country or that country or whatever, but they had to be very specific in where they start these shell companies. 81 of these people had businesses or shell companies in North Dakota, in the United States, including foreign entities. Many of them foreign entities that could fly in. These are billionaires and people on their way to becoming trillionaires in some cases, or multi-millionaires, which seems out today is at the lower end of the totem pole than it once was. But nevertheless, these are people that can fly in. They can have someone handle the business for the United States. Their coin reaches far enough that they can have that happen. And what they do is they erect these companies and they avoid taxes. Fluid taxes that in most cases would make many people, based on the amount of money that they're worth, pretty significant for the year. Pretty significant, depending on what they took in for the year. And as a result, many of these companies and many of these heads of these companies and many of these dignitaries and many of these royals and many of these people that are presidents, including Vladimir Putin, whose name stuck out there, These people erected these companies because they were trying to hide their money. They were trying to hide from taxes. They were trying to hide their actual wealth. See, people that really get money, they're not like these ragtag motherfuckers y'all get on YouTube here. They be talking about, yo, I got money. I didn't get it. They don't do that. They don't do that. And in retrospect, most of them don't even want you to know what they have, to be quite honest with you. And as a result, it forms an inquiry. People want to know because we're so inquisitive nowadays about what everybody else is doing. And people reach in and they go in and they try to find out what these people are doing. They're not only trying to find out what these people are doing, but they will go about their means to expose them, as we say, which I think is the corniest shit in the world. Like I'm not really for the whole exposing people thing. I think some things need to be exposed. Like if it's some shit about R. Kelly, yeah, that needs to be exposed. If it's something about somebody's personal life or them getting a divorce or their kids or something, I don't think that should be exposed at all. So I do have a hindrance when it comes to this expulsion of people online. I really do have a hindrance for that. I really have a hindrance for cancel culture as well. I don't agree with it at all. But yet alone, it still will exist without me saying it or saying it until collectively the masses come together and say, yeah, we're tired of cancel culture. We're tired of, non-transparency. That's why I try to be as transparent as I can on here. This is not the Illuminati. This is a group of rich dignitaries and rich people from around the world who have made it their effort to hide their money, which hence, when we bring up and fast forward to Joe Biden and his, well, at this point, let's say his approach to trying to get $3.5 trillion passed in the stimulus. Many of that's going to be paid for, as he says, by people that have benefited from either paying no taxes, like Jeff Bezos, or very little taxes. These are the multimillionaires, the billionaires, the rich, etc., etc. These are people that, in some cases, for a decade or more, have not paid any taxes whatsoever. And this is siphoning from them and increasing taxes on them is how they play for that. Well, hindering these riches makes you even more rich if you're one of these guys that I mentioned. And some women too, and some family members of these dignitaries. So once you get this money, it now becomes a thing of how I'm going to hide it. I don't care who you say you are and how noble you are. If I got $1 billion, I'm going to hide some shit too. I know you're going to come in and try to take it sooner or later. Especially with this. Hell yeah, coming. Let me share this one more time. I want everybody to know where we at because we're going to talk about more than this, the Pandora papers. I'm going to be with you guys for like an hour, if not more. Pandora papers are nothing more than part of an investigation they did to try to see what the world's, not only the elite, but prying to see what they had. And if I had to make a guess, it didn't just start now. It's been going on for a while. You see, the Pandora papers opened up the door to the world's elite and their assets. And pretty soon they'll start drawing out how much each person is worth, how much they were hiding, how much the cell companies projectively were worth, and everything like that. And it's cool. But I saw the litany of conspiracy theorists online, and they sent back to them, oh, this is the Pandora's box. Yeah, we finally got them. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Most of those people were former dignitaries, meaning they don't even have any fucking power anymore. They just have the name. What's going on, 305 Capricorn? Hey, Davin. Hey, what's going on, mama? Star Pepper. What's going on, Star Pepper? That's my motherfucker right there. You have people that are rich, and they want to hide their money. This has nothing to do with world domination. This has nothing to do with these people, you know what I'm saying, having some plan like Adam Weishaupt or anything like that. This wasn't the intention. And no matter how much you try to bend it, no matter how many conspiracy DVDs you watch, no matter how many people you watch on YouTube to try to convince you that, it is not that. It's not. And I've told you guys many times, and I'll say it again, the Illuminati is an idea. It doesn't exist at all. Now, do I think there's a power structure that exists in the realms and the definition of that? Of course it does. This proves it. They had an independent investigation unit go Investigate these guys. This wasn't the FBI that would go see these guys. It wasn't the FBI that broke it. Why not? This is, if anything, this would be a case that would be on a federal level, if not an international level. You didn't ask yourself that question? Don't be so quick to jump into controversy and thinking that you found Pandora's box. You know, because many times what you'll find is you have it. What you found is it's a trending story. Trending story for the moment to get your mind off of certain things or whatever. Now, how long ago do y'all think that they discovered these things with the Pandora papers? You think it just happened recently, the day before yesterday? Do you really think that? If you do, you're a complete total idiot. I'm willing to guess that investigations like this would have taken the combination of months, not days, not weeks, months, if not years. So they probably had this information or had something leading on to it or something bonded to it for quite a while now. And they just now decided to release it to the public. Just like an album, once it's done, you know, it can be done and sitting for 2 years, believe it or not. Some music will be sitting for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years in some cases. DMX Get At Me, dog, was recorded 4 years prior, and it was an old single. He popped the second time they released it. With that being said, I want to move on to something else because this is all part of the investigation. I'm going to prove my point. The SBA, which is a Sergeants Benevolent Association here in the New York City tri-state, but particularly New York, was raided yesterday by the FBI. This went really under the radar, but they were raided by the FBI. And the reason they were raided by the FBI, I believe, and the reason that Mayor Bill de Blasio, who was the acting mayor for these last couple of days, thank God, he refused to comment on why the FBI raided the SBA's offices in Manhattan. Why? He refused to comment. I'll tell you why he refused to comment. Because he knew as much as I knew. They just found 2 officers, a part of the New York City Police Department, that were part of a group of far right-wingers, which I tell you guys, if you're going to talk shit to black people, go over there and talk shit. If you're going to talk shit to black people, Latin people all day online, then go over there and talk stuff to them too. But you're scared. These guys called the Oath Keepers, which many of us know about. Them and the Proud Boys ride through New York. And they're here in Connecticut as well. You know, some of the more rural parts of Connecticut, but they're here. And some of the more rural parts of New York City, state and city. New York City has a lot of rural parts too, probably a lot of you never heard of, but they exist. Both of these guys, and I've had interaction with the Proud Boys before because they actually thought I was a Donald Trump supporter because I was up doing a live in front of Trump Tower. Little did they know. They waved at me, beeped the horn. Right in front of Trump Tower. I swear to God, I got it on camera on here. Y'all go look at it for yourself. What up from Las Vegas? What's going on, Kareem Slick? Salute. The SBA, which is the Sergeants Benevolent Association, was raided yesterday. Prior to that, a day before, 2 cops have been accused of being part of the Oath Keepers, which is a far right-wing group, separatist group. One of those happens to be a sergeant. A sergeant. Now, if you're a sergeant of police, you could tort a lot of different things your way and in your favor if you're a sergeant. Okay? Sergeant's not like being a captain, etc., etc., etc. You can tort a lot of things in your favor, including records, including arrest warrants, including a lot of things. And I think they knew, just like I knew, that if you got 2 in here that are like that, then there must be more. I honestly and truthfully think there's more than just 2 under investigation. They just mentioned these 2 cops. But again, in New York City, they had 2 cops that are now accused of being the Oath Keepers. And the day after that, they all of a sudden found this Pandora's box thing. The day after that, we're now talking about Bill de Blasio now making a statement, and he's talking about 92% of the court system in New York City is non-functioning. Not moving at the pace that it should be. And there's many things around that, you know, COVID and everything like that or whatever. But what he really left out was the problem with that court system not moving. Now, I mentioned this to you guys before, and if you're staying with me, you're rocking with me, you might understand what I mean. If many of y'all remember during the pandemic, they released a lot of criminals, low-level criminals. I'm gonna read your comments in a second. Don't go anywhere. A lot of low-level criminals, which they thought were low-level criminals, and I kept it above because I know how things work. And I said, and I'll say it again, a lot of these guys that were in jail that were released, a lot of them were repeat offenders for one. Two, they were older repeat offenders. Three, some of the most heinous of offenders. Not to mention this, a lot of these guys may have just been brought up on a charge and let's say something less heinous than what they usually do. So meaning he's really a pistol guy, but this time he got caught with a simple assault. Well, what do you think happens when you let the guy with this simple assault, who's really his modus operandi is really this violence and gun token, you let him out in the street? Well, now he goes and rallies all the people that, you know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. You saw a lot of people, and I'm not saying that a lot of people within that dynamic that were released didn't deserve it. I think a lot of them did. A lot of them did. They were in there for minuscule stuff, and they do not fit the format of this. So I don't want to, tangle them in with the ones I'm talking about. But more so than if you got a guy that's on his, and I'm gonna say like his sixth, seventh, eighth felony, and you above 30, nigga, this is career for you. Hit those like buttons if y'all would. I appreciate it. Hit those like buttons. At this point, you got someone that not really doesn't even care. They don't care. They don't care about life. They don't care about the future. They don't care about anything except for getting over. Getting over. However they can get over, they get over. And it's whatever. When New York City let so many go, and I'm going to add in, they're also having problems with Rikers Island. the inmates have taken over the jail, literally. They are slashing motherfuckers, beating police officers up, or COs up, and everything else. You don't believe me? I'll show you some clips to show you. New York City yesterday, the day before yesterday, had 3 incidents in Times Square. 3 incidents. 3. And those incidents included, one, a woman who they arrested today, pushing a woman into an oncoming train. I know this track because I catch that train sometimes. It's 2, 3, and 1 train line. She pushed her into the 3 train. Subsequently, not even an hour or a little bit after that, a man accidentally shoots himself in his leg in Times Square. Right after that, another man shoots indiscriminately and hits somebody indiscriminately. 3 incidents in one day in Times Square. And you're asking people to come back there and visit. If you go to Times Square right now, it looks filthy. Okay? And I'll even keep it a buck to keep in summation what I was talking about. Y'all call it whatever you want to. A lot of people are coming from out other boroughs and they're coming to Manhattan because they know it's a couple of dollars there. And I ain't got to say no more than that. But you know what I mean. And as a result of that, you're getting these guys that normally would never have hung in Manhattan now coming to hang in Manhattan. And the violence that they have in their neighborhoods and the violence that they're attuned to and used to, they're now implementing on anybody that's in Times Square. They really don't care. Subsequently, the criminals outnumbering the cops or whoever's going to, do what they do. And that's not to say that I'm full side and I'm, get ready to go to the policeman's ball because we damn sure know that ain't true. But what it more wrecks is the problem of this. There was a little thing called defund the police that was going on. Man, y'all remember that? Defund the police. And I can't say that I'm too much off when I understand the sentiment behind that. But this is the thing. I understand the sentiment behind that. But this is the thing. I said then, and it's on here. It's on here. I have it here. I said then, and I say again now. Now. And a lot of people remember me when I said this. I said, defunding the police is not going to do anything but open up the gates for criminals. And I believe there was a feminist touch. And I believe there was a feminist touch to it. And I hate to say it like that, the wrong type of feminist touch to it that allowed this to enact. And I think a lot of it came from a lot of these mothers' adorations towards their criminal ass sons. I'm sorry. You might be a good woman, you might have a good heart, but your son's a motherfucking criminal. And the reason he's a lifelong criminal is because of the environment that you live in. And it has been the same generation after generation after generation after generation. A lot of people will be like, where are you going with this? What I'm trying to tell you is, out of desperation, out of hunger, out of the sheer need of want, each city, including New York City, each major city in the United States seems to have the same problem, where you have a lot of people that are running to the streets and they are running to the neighborhoods that they once lived in, being that they got early release from jail, being that they're the ones that do the crime around there all the time, etc., etc., etc. And nobody's putting highlight on that. Everybody's putting highlight on the Pandora papers, on finding out who's got what, finding out what's this. I have people that will spend more time coming to my page to write a fucking paragraph of a comment than rather taking 2 seconds to donate something. It's all about where the trajectory of your mind is currently. Is my point. And a lot of people, they seem very off odds about what they actually believe in. In one token, they'll say they believe in this and they believe in that or whatever. In the second token, they'll do and induce themselves a behavior that's not condescending of that. You know, I watched a man last night try to check me on his podcast and think I didn't peep it. Man said I ain't got no power. I say this line to you, Rick Ross said, I ain't bigger than Biggie, but bitch, I'm bigger than you. And you think this because you being seen on the camera? I got something. See, I got something you don't have. You know a few people. You do. You know a few people. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You know some powerful people. Black people. The difference is between those people you know and the people I know. The people you know got to go through the people I know. And the people I know, you don't know. And the reason I know these people is from years of working in these office buildings. See, I was different than anybody that worked with me in any of these office buildings, including 1540 Broadway, Interscope, or Atlantic, will tell you. Personally, I'm a very, very articulate talking person. I like to talk a lot. That's why I fit this format so well. I've always liked to talk a lot. Ask Sean Perez. Ask Puff. Ask many other people. I like to talk. They used to have to tell me to be quiet sometimes because I like to talk. But my talking always got me into places. And what it did was I was smart enough to know when I was working with Puff and Will and Bad Boy, I knew there was a higher entity above them. That's why the office built their offices were on top of us. And that was Clive Davis in his office. And most people, they don't think I was smart enough to figure that out or know the segue or the tiers or how this went or whatever. Motherfucker, I came here because I heard Clive gave him a deal. I know who Clive is. My mama know who Clive is. My father know who Clive is. Entonces sabe claro. Like, so it's like when you get that, you understand that these are people, Random House Publishing, MTV. The people I know, you don't know. Trust me on this. When I said Terrence Clayton's name, you didn't know who that was. Shout out to the BMF series. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people I know that could literally cut your lights off if they wanted to, and I choose not to do that. So make no mistake about it when you say you ain't nobody over that Negro talk. I love when they say that shit. You know, that's a famous Negro and Latin phrase there. You ain't nobody, based on their measurements and their declaration of how things are in their mind, you know? Like, you don't know who the fuck I am. And if you want to test me, go ahead. I guarantee you, you'll lose. You know, no matter how big you think you are, you gonna lose. And I don't work by jumping on camera and being like, nah, I don't do it like that. I don't do it. It might be 6-7 months from now. You'll remember me, trust me. Many have tested me before and they saw what happened to them. Long story short, man. Criminality is one of the forefront problems that we're going to have in the culture moving forward, and how to circumnavigate it into something else or get rid of the criminal element as it is. Now I know a lot of y'all are not rich. I know a lot of y'all don't live in the best neighborhoods. I know a lot of y'all, even if that's not the case currently, you have previously or you're familiar with it. And I'm sure a lot of y'all are familiar. There was over 21 kids shot in New York City so far this year. 21 kids indiscriminately, including a 16-year-old girl that I put up a post about, and somebody hit me. And it was like, yo, can you take that down? I said, why? They said, yo, I know the mother, and like I told you, I know people will go on it. So I just took it down. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to have to walk through there and then have to be explaining stuff to people, whatever. So the way I felt, this is somebody that knew the family, knows the mother, you know what I mean? So I said, let me just let it go. So I let it go. You know what I mean? I took it down or whatever, but I am going to speak about it. This young 16-year-old girl was sitting in the park, which is down the street from Gowana's houses. And these are housing projects, you know, and they have the criminal element there, and they have, you know, I can't think of one housing project that probably doesn't have the criminal element in some degree or another. But this little girl was sitting outside the store to her friends on a normal day. And these three gentlemen who they put up the pictures for, so I ain't no secret, young men, I'd say about 15, 16, 17, maybe the oldest, maybe 18. They started shooting. They shot this girl in the head. She wasn't the intended target. And she's still in the hospital fighting for her life at 16 years old. The biggest story, how all this translates, and when I talk about, well, why don't you go to the far right wingers page and tell them how you feel? It was a George Floyd statue put up in an area called Union Square in New York City. This statue had originally been in Brooklyn. And when it was in Brooklyn, same thing happened to it. It was vandalized. I saw the same thing happen, and I filmed it. It's here on this page. When you had the Black Lives Matter mural put in front of Trump Tower, a black woman came up there and destroyed that. You know what I'm saying? Twice. And she did it to one in Brooklyn, and she did it to one in the Bronx. This was George Floyd that we were pushing right then and there. Well, this white boy on the skateboard decided to pull up in Union Square. Now, I want to give you a little history about Union Square. There are songs that are out in rotation that speak of Union Square. Union Square at one time was where all the hip hop heads, music artists, everybody used to go down there and they would do their thing. You know what I mean? Whether it was rapping, breakdancing, whatever, historically. You know what I'm saying? I was a kid when this shit was going on. I wasn't there, but everybody knows the stories. Now, fast forward, go through gentrification and everything else or whatever. Union Square is now a different place. It's a place for like hippie types and these wannabes that have invaded New York City and made New York City into a different thing. And these weirdos, like I was telling y'all the other night, and this is funny, I said, why do white people in New York all of a sudden feel like they can walk past people of color and say anything that they fucking want when they see them by themselves? They won't do this when it's a group of niggas. They're not gonna do that. If it's just you and Bonnie, you're not gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because with me, I think it's because of the way I look, and they just think, oh, well, he looks nice and friendly. I'm not nice and friendly like that. I'm really not. I'm really not. And I don't know if I got to start wearing all black for a year or what, but you know what I mean? But I'm really not nice like that. I'm friendly and I'm cordial, but I'm really not nice like that. This man took on his skateboard and threw white paint all over this sculpture bust, if you want to call it, of George Floyd. Is huge. And subsequently, I believe they wanted to destroy other ones because they destroyed not only that one, but they attempted to destroy another one. Now, previously, when they had been destroyed in Brooklyn, nobody did nothing. The motherfuckers get on the line every day on here and talk what they gonna do, how they gonna do it, whatever. But show up, nigga. You know, but it's not that. It's the fact that this motherfucker did it the second time he's on camera. And nobody ain't went down to the park and tried to see if they could check and find this nigga. Where the rappers at? Where all these tough guy niggas that be on the where y'all supposed to be at, y'all ain't there. But we need y'all. Y'all ain't there. There's people down in Louisiana right now that's starving to death. Y'all ain't even know that from that storm they had down there. How many rappers you seen down there? How many black folks you seen get together down there and go down there? Why? Because it's not trending enough. Destruction of that statue, of that white man that did that, goes as far as to show you that these type of white men have no respect for you whatsoever. And when I went live the other night, many of y'all were with me and rocking with me when I put that up, and it's still up here. And just click my name, scroll, and y'all see the podcast for yourself. I said this in front of a whole batch of white folks and didn't care. I was in Midtown Manhattan. I think I was on about 47th, 48th Street. Everybody know that. I was up about where on the bank is. I forgot what the name of it is called. I was just a little bit upstairs from there. I was on like 47th to 48th between 9th. So it was a real white neighborhood over there. It's all over there. It's like white, Asian, black folks is over there too, but not like that. So I said it there. That's why I went purposely there to do it. And I had the whole time I was standing there, I had white folks walk past because they thought I was by myself and say all kinds of that. Not everybody, but out of every 5 that passed, there's probably at least 2 had something to say. You know what I'm saying? They would say it subliminally, like they ain't jumping in my face or whatever, because it's like, you know what I mean, after that. But it was just like, it was just the talking and the subliminal messages and everything like that. Like I was just some sucker motherfuckers. I started stopping motherfuckers. I said, you got something to say? And it blows their mind when you do that because they're not expecting that shit. I said, you got something to say? You know what I'm saying? And when I walked up on these motherfuckers, one dude, he stopped at the end of the street and said something. He thought I was crazy. I was like, well, maybe I am, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So him and his wife did this little thing where they grabbed each other and kissed each other. I guess they were trying to mock me, trying to show that they were, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. So as they did that, I started walking up to him and I heard this chick, uh-oh. I wanted to see what this motherfucker was really made of. Pussy. When I got in his face, he was a totally different man. Oh man, I was just joking. I was just playing. Motherfucker, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. You playing. You know what I'm saying? And I realized the reason he felt so free to do that because there wasn't no fear factor. So New York used to be known for its fear factor. You couldn't go to certain neighborhoods, say certain shit. You couldn't do certain things. You couldn't move a certain way without a fear factor there. Now the fear factor only is invoked by other blacks and Latinos invoking it on their own. They're scared to do something with the white folks because they care that the ramifications is going to come with it. And I see this in black neighborhood, Latin neighborhood across the city. They're scared. Y'all hit those like buttons if y'all can. They scared. It's okay to say it. They scared. Because it not been, it should have been about 5 or 6 rappers that these hardcore shoot 'em up niggas, all these gang member niggas or whatever. If you're not realizing what that statue stands for, what that statue meant, then you're a weak motherfucker. And anything that you have to say online, I'm not paying attention to it. This go for any vlogger. Because many of you vloggers have not even talked about this shit. And I'm going to do a separate one. I'm going to piece it together and show y'all. And I'm going to put the link in the descriptions too. I put 2 links in there already, but I'm going to put some more in there. I'll probably put this in the pinned comments so y'all know the difference. Nobody's done nothing. Ain't nobody been popped at. This is a nigga on a skateboard, son. This is light work. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you going after, you know what I'm saying, the Oath Keepers or some shit like that or whatever. But motherfuckers are so scared, they want to go check this motherfucker. Why? But you want to come here to my page every day and try to check me. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not getting the symmetry of these weak motherfuckers, and I'm talking about the women and the men. Because so many women, they sit back and they got a motherfucking cause for everything. We want straight hair. We want to be able to wear our hair natural. We want all, you know, all this other shit that it means this much in the scope of things. This much. You understand what I'm saying? Some of the fundamental things that y'all pay attention to and put so much energy in, and the wide scale of things mean about this fucking much. Y'all advocate for the dumbest shit. Y'all ride for the dumbest shit. Y'all ready to ride for somebody on Real Housewives of Atlanta that y'all never fucking met, but y'all won't go ride for this shit in New York? There should be teams of motherfuckers out the lawn looking for this motherfucker. Find him before the police find him. But y'all scared. And I know you're scared. I did all kinds of shit. Like, I don't have to sit here and explain it. I showed you 8 pages of it. So don't call me punk. Don't call me pussy. Or you ain't gonna do it. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will. But you won't. No, what you'd rather do is just sit around and you'll fuck with the people in your neighborhood, or like some of these criminals that were gracious enough to be released. And some of them have forgot that you still have a court case that needs to be adjudicated. You're not free, okay? You're not free. And this is the problem that Mayor de Blasio was talking about. And I got the segue. These people that were formerly released because of COVID-19 are in the streets, and at either their direction, their behest, or them themselves are committing some of the crimes that you see now. So much that the jump in motherfucking gun possession has went up 21% in New York City. And the same thing is happening here in Connecticut. The same thing is happening down in Jersey for sure. So, with that, I say this. If you punk motherfuckers don't start getting up and all that talking y'all do and all that tough guy shit y'all talk about, whatever, because reality is y'all motherfuckers have segued yourself into becoming nerds. And weak motherfucking nerds at that. What I mean by that is you jump up and everything that you do online has to round around the coattail. This is why I can't get monetized right now. Because I curse. I act myself. I be myself. And the reason I am myself on here on this mic is because of pure simple fact. I don't give a flying fuck what you think. It's the audience that carries me. 2, I don't want companies that I motherfucking don't regulate making money off my face. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tone my shit down so you can put in a fucking baby commercial on my fucking shit. I'm not gonna tone my shit down so you can put in a fucking advertisement for some type of product you got to make bras lose weight, soap products, or whatever. I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm not advertising work. I worked in advertising for 17 years, remember? No. I'm not gonna sacrifice myself. But y'all willing to sacrifice yourself for $1, an opportunity, or more so than not, it looks like most Black and Latin people have a price point. Cheap price point at that. The only thing is to sell you out the opportunity to get a 2012 used BMW. Police will sell you out for the chance to get $2,000 in their pocket. They'll sell you out. They'll sell out the whole culture if they have to for something that small because they have so little, most of them. I will never have more. I'm fearful that I think, honestly and truthfully, you're going to see the situation gets worse. And as we go further and further closer towards the holidays, meaning Thanksgiving is next, and then after that is Christmas, I think you're going to see even worse happen during the winter months. I think so. I think this was just a preemptive moment before you see what really goes down. And I say to all you weak motherfuckers, and none of y'all's down there by Union Square, or at least you jump off or some, you know what I mean, a team of cats or where the gangs at. How come y'all ain't down there? How come y'all ain't down there? That's what I got to ask. How come y'all ain't down in Union Square? How come y'all ain't looking for homeboy? How come y'all ain't stop? Y'all making the city look bad. To be quite honest with you, you making motherfuckers think from across the country, y'all won't do shit. So what I need is all the local thugs. I don't care what side you're on with, one you rock with, Black or Latin. I don't care what gang you're in. I need y'all to look for this motherfucker. The motherfucker with the skateboard. I need y'all to do what y'all will. Y'all do it with us every day. Why don't you go look for this motherfucker? This motherfucker insulted a man that was choked out and choked to death in front of live TV for millions to see. And upon adjudication of the officer that did it, yet for his sentencing to come. There's a bus put up for this man and many other people that were down there. Including former Senator of Maryland. And motherfuckers destroyed this shit. So I'm asking y'all, what the fuck y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Because you ain't gonna do nothing. Don't come to my motherfucking page asking me no fucking questions. Don't come to my fucking page asking me or telling me how I should be doing something, not be doing something. You can't go take care of this, you punk pussy ass motherfuckers. Most of you punk motherfuckers been raised by women, and you act like bitches. You carry yourself like a bitch, and just like a bitch wouldn't do nothing either. She go call some men. So call some of your cousins, your brothers, whatever may have you, and have them handle it. Since your bitch ass won't. Since your bitch ass can't do nothing but sit in black and Latin neighborhoods and cause chaos and havoc around there. And when we really need you to kick the fuck in, you can't take none of that gangster shit nowhere else. So you ain't a gangster, you a pussy. I've met pussies before, let's go. Now I say this to your face and I say it on camera. You're a pussy. See, a man will go out and check this motherfucker. A man would have organized 30, 40 motherfuckers already yesterday. I miss those guys. But these new, I want to fit in with everybody type motherfuckers, this is the worst thing that ever happened to culture ever in life. I want to fit in. I had the opportunity to get this job at $15 an hour. You need at least 30 to make it. So I got to say, man. Until that motherfucker that did that to George Floyd's statue down there at Union Square, well, if me and my boys recognize you, you ain't got to worry about the police. Guys, if you'd like to, you can donate $STRINGERBELL80. That's Stringerbell80 at Cash App. Make sure y'all hit that up if you would. This is my first live inside, and it's amazing. There's a lot of things you guys ain't paying attention to, and you should be paying attention to, and you think it doesn't affect you, but in fact, it affects you directly. It affects you more than you think. And whether you not see it now, you will see it in the future. Guys, I'll be back live with another topic in a little bit, but I just had to speak on all that stuff right there. So just to do a real quick recap, the Pandora's box is not the entrance point to the Illuminati. Sorry. Secondly, the SBA, which is the Sergeants Benevolent Association, they guilty and they hiding something. I don't know what the fuck it is, but they hiding something. If I had to make a guess, more racist officers. 3, the George Floyd statue that was destroyed down in Union Station. Some of you punk bitch ass motherfuckers need to be hanging down in Union Square every fucking day until you find out who did it or ask around or pressure motherfuckers and ask them who did it. You got a clear picture of them, so it shouldn't be a problem finding them. Stop the fuck out that motherfucker before he's encouraged to have his friends do even more. You don't get it? Y'all pay attention to the wrong shit and don't do the right thing. And I'm here to wake y'all the fuck up. And if y'all don't want to wake the fuck up, we'll roll the fuck over you, because trust me, it's going to get deeper. It's going to get way deeper. That was the best thing I could ever do, was get set in place. You understand? Now we can really go into work. I ain't got nothing to worry about, whatever. I'm about to unleash some shit on y'all. But I only feel for George Floyd's family having to go through this fucking insult. But I feel for the culture, because we got such punk motherfuckers that won't go check a motherfucker, but want to check other people of color. You bitch. What up from Las Vegas? Hey, hey, lovely 7 on Melon Kiss, tuning in from Long Island. What's going on, Long Island? Great live. Thank you with that. Yeah, you live in Long Island. You already know what I'm talking about the bus being vandalized yesterday and the camera work they got on it with this motherfucker throwing paint on the George Floyd statue, and alongside trying to destroy other ones. And this was a white boy that did this, and I'm just wondering to myself, how come nobody's going to check this punk motherfucker on a skateboard? He was so brazen and bold to do that. And what I say to you is, it's going to, based on that tape fluctuating around, you're going to think he can do that shit all the time. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is, y'all need to stomp the fuck out this motherfucker and let the cameras know y'all stomp the fuck out of him. You ain't got to call NBC and nobody like that. Just have your local YouTuber with you. I'll talk to y'all later.